we're going to not follow the recipe together. So we'll see how that goes, but I think it's gonna be great. I'm very excited. I'm so glad you're here today. Welcome to Grow and Preserve. I'm Carter. Let's get started, shall we? All right, so what is it we're doing today? We are doing baked beans. Again, from this cookbook. This will be the third recipe I've tried from this. If you saw the last video, that was the pulled pork and the barbecue brisket. So if you haven't seen those, you're gonna wanna go make those because these baked beans are gonna be perfect with that. So here we go. I had two options, really, with the baked beans. I had simple baked beans on page 81, and I had pork and beans on page 82. Now, they both have pork in them, and they're fairly similar. The simple baked beans had a whole pound of pork. The pork and beans only had a quarter pound of pork. So you would think, knowing me as you probably do by now, that I would have chosen the one with the full pound of pork, but I didn't. So I chose the pork and beans instead. I know, shocked me too. But anyway, I wanted something a little less sweet. There was a whole lot of sugar, brown sugar, and a ton of molasses in here in the other one, in the simple baked beans. So we're gonna go with the pork and beans. So let me tell you what is a first about this. I have never canned beans. It's true. All my years of canning, I've never canned beans because we don't like beans. We don't eat beans. You know, we just don't. But baked beans, holy cow, that's something totally different. I am still a Southern girl, and I love baked beans. And you know, you buy them in the can, and they have all those artificial flavors in them, and things you can't pronounce, and then the preservatives, and then all the sugar. Oh my gosh, tons of sugar. So I don't do that very often. I will eat baked beans, certainly if we go to a barbecue joint. But now I'm gonna have some on the shelf. It just never occurred to me that I should be making baked beans with the pantry shelf. So that's what we're doing today. I am thrilled, but we're gonna kind of navigate this bean thing together. So let's see how it goes. So I have 2 pounds, so I'm gonna bring you down where you can see, 2 pounds of navy beans. Now, it took me a while to find navy beans, but I finally did find navy beans at Walmart. I did not find them at Publix. I did not find them at Kroger, at least at my two. So if you can't find them at your regular grocery store, try Walmart. All right, I'm gonna bring you down here and we're gonna load everything up. So this is gonna be a hot pack recipe today. So the way it's written in the book, you do the beans in the water, get those boiling first, and then you can add the other stuff. And then she says, oh, by the way, you could just add it all at the same time. So we're gonna add it all at the same time, and then we're gonna move over to the stove. All right, so I have rinsed and drained these beans. These have been soaking overnight in clean water in the refrigerator. So let's get these into the pan. All right, and we need 3, let's see. Take that back. What do we need? 1 quart of water. So I've got 1 quart of fresh water here. All right, so the recipe calls for salt pork. I didn't have any salt pork, but I did have some country bacon. So it smells heavenly. A couple of months ago, I guess, when I ordered the beef stock bones from Tennessee Grass Fed, they had country bacon on special too. And I'm like, okay, let's give that a shot. Oh my gosh, I fried it up last night. Then I kind of had to hide it from David. So I have probably a little more than a quarter pound here. That is going in. It smells delicious. And 1 quart of tomato sauce. So it's really just slightly over 2 cans. I've been using a lot of tomato sauce lately. And frankly, it takes a lot of work and a lot of tomatoes to make my own tomato sauce. So I use my own when I'm just making up, dinner for that night or whatever. But if I'm gonna can it into something else and it's just kind of just one of the players, then I'm okay using canned tomato sauce. But if you have plenty of home canned tomato sauce, feel free to use that. All right, so there's my tomato sauce. 1 cup of chopped onions. I did that yesterday. Now it says 3 tablespoons of sugar. All right, so I'm going to use allulose for the 3 tablespoons of sugar. Allulose is a non-calorie, carb-free, natural sweetener that is heat safe. And I use it in a great deal of canning. There isn't any official statement on it being safe. However, it is heat stable. Several of the extension services have said it is heat stable. So nobody's gone so far as to say it is absolutely approved for canning, you know. But anyway, I use it. If you'd rather use sugar, please use sugar. Or you can use coconut sugar, or you can use maple syrup, or you can use honey. What am I doing? 3 tablespoons. Just don't lose track of what you're doing. Okay, 3 tablespoons of sugar or allulose. 1 tablespoon of molasses. I do love molasses. If you were going to use brown sugar, you could just skip the molasses and just use, 3 or 4 tablespoons of brown sugar instead of the 3 tablespoons of white sugar and 1 tablespoon of molasses. All right, quite a mess on my hands. Ground cloves, another winner for me. I love the taste and smell of ground cloves. So we have 1/4 of a teaspoon of ground cloves. Okay, 1/4 of a teaspoon of ground cloves, and allspice, 1/4 of a teaspoon. Another yummy smell. I don't like it quite as much as cloves, but my goodness, it smells delicious. All right, next is 1 teaspoon of garlic powder and 2 teaspoons of salt. And that's it. Okay. 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. Okay, 2 teaspoons of salt. All right, I'm gonna find a big spoon. I thought I had one around here somewhere. Okay. Let's see if you can see this. Here you go. All right, I'm going to put this on the stove. We're going to bring it to a boil, and we're going to let it boil for 30 minutes before we jar it up. All right, so that's on the stove. We're going to let it come up to a boil. We're going to let it boil for 30 minutes, and then we're going to jar it up. I'm going to do it mostly in pints, although I think I'll do some half pints, just in case, David wants some and I don't, or I want some and he doesn't. So I'm going to do that, and then it's going to go for 75 minutes in the pressure canner. All right, if you have been around here for any length of time, you know that canning and cooking are messy business in my house. So this has been a reasonably long canning day. This is my 3rd project of the day. And I was just, as I was stirring the beans, I'm looking around the kitchen going, you did a good job, Carter, it looks pretty clean. And then I read the next set of directions. And I thought, oh no, I'm in big trouble now. It says, remove the beans from the heat and use a slotted spoon, put them into the prepared jars. Then divide the cooking broth among the jars. Can you imagine taking all the beans out of here in a slotted spoon and actually getting them into the jar without dripping them all over the counter? Anyway, I'm not sure that would work for me. So what I'm going to do is something slightly different. I have my big measuring cup, and the only strainer I have that fits in here. And so I'm going to take some ladles full, put it in there, get the broth down into the cup, the beans on top, then we're going to put the beans in, then I'm going to pour the broth in. It's quite convoluted, but I think it's going to be a little less messy. So let's see how it goes. It could definitely be messy. David is Very excited about these. He came in and he says, I stirred the beans. They look so good. So I don't know. They look like beans to me, but they should be perfect by the time we get done. All right, now let's see how this goes. All right. So these beans are not yet cooked, so there's nothing I can really taste. I did stick a spoon in and taste the sauce, and it's really good. I'm glad I didn't go with a sweeter one. It probably would have been good too, but I think it would have been too sweet for us. This is supposed to make 9 pints. So as I mentioned, I have some half pints out here for us as well. All right, let's see if we can get some of this into the jars very carefully. Oops, let's go over here. A lot of bacon in this first batch here, so I want to be sure I don't put all the bacon in one jar. So she says we're going for 1-inch headspace. I'm going to get slightly below that for starters, just to see how my beans spread out here. Okay. I was a little surprised she would have a 1-inch headspace, so I thought the beans would still expand, but we're going to follow her directions and hope for the best. Let's do some small ones here. Sputtered myself. All right. All right, let's get this liquid in here. I think I can do it without a filter. There's not going to be enough liquid on this one. Let's do a little debubbling and see where we end up. All right, I got a few of these that need a little bit more. So let's just put some barbecue sauce in there. This is my home canned barbecue sauce. I don't have a whole ton of this either, but we're gonna do the best we can. So she said that this is supposed to make 9 pints. And what do I have? 5, 6 and a half. Kind of disappointed in that. Let's debubble these one more time, get this mixed in. It's a good barbecue sauce I just mixed in, so I think that's only gonna be a good addition. I would prefer it if a recipe would do what it says it's going to do. Okay, I think we're good. A lot of cleaning up to do. I almost managed with the clean kitchen today. but I'll get it done. Okay, these are hot jars, so I have a warm canner ready to go. Let's get some lids on. How do you feel about it when recipes don't make the quantity that you expect them to make? I find that disappointing. If I'd known it was only going to do this, I might have done 1.5 times the recipe. But that's okay. If they're good, I'll just do another batch. They're certainly easy. Okay, it's a pretty looking jar. I hope that's gonna be wonderful. All right, so let's talk about how the baked beans did. They look pretty. I will say that they need a lot more sauce. I have made a note in the cookbook that I should double the amount of sauce and divide the beans among the 9 pints it's supposed to make, which probably will leave the beans about here. And then I want to fill the rest with sauce because they really sucked up what sauce was there. But we're going to taste them for flavor now because they sure do look pretty. I hope they're great. All right, you go first.
All right. Yeah, those are good.
Yeah, you like them?
Yeah, I do.
Ooh, this is a big piece of country bacon.
Hey.
You can have that one.
All right.
Mmm.
They are good, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Well, very good.
Yeah, those are good. They need a lot more sauce.
You know what they could use?
Mm.
Hot sauce.
Everything needs hot sauce for David. But yeah, those are really good. I could maybe even do with them a touch sweeter. What do you think?
They could be a little sweeter, but
Yeah.
you know what? I like them just the way they are.
Yeah.
I could eat them all.
Looks like you're going to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the baked beans were a hit, but I am definitely going to add more sauce next time.
Those are really good.
Yeah, so it sounds like I'm clearly going to be making another batch.
Yes, you are.
All right, thank you so much for being here. Please like the video, subscribe, forward, tell all your friends, whatever. YouTube loves that, and the channel could really use your help. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.